Thank you for joining us. I'm Spencer Tillis.
And I'm Giselle Espinales.
And this is the Delmarva Sports Insider. We are your ticket to highlights and the behind-the-scenes scoop of all your teams up and down Delmarva, as well as some of your favorite pro teams in DC, Baltimore, and Philly.
We will have exclusive interviews with coaches, current and former players, plus we want to engage you, the viewer. Tell us what games and teams you want to hear about in upcoming episodes.
That's right. We want to be a part of your team, and we want you to be a part of ours. Delmarva Sports Insider starts now. In this week's episode, we head up to Del Mar and check in on the Wildcats as they hosted Y-High for their very first scrimmage.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Ravens head coach John Harbaugh had his own fantasy football draft. Regular season is right around the corner. We'll let you know our picks.
And we'll head down to Snow Hill and get our first look at this year's Eagles team as they took on North Dorchester. But we begin today with a team right here in Delmarva that has some high expectations headed into the football season. Queen Anne's. Now they held their first scrimmage this year on Friday against St. Mary's Reich. And now the Lions finished last year with a 8-3 record overall before eventually being bounced in the state tournament in the first round. Now they did lose a few guys from that team, but they bring back a lot of key players, and it's not just about what they're going to do here early on, but it's about putting in the work that'll pay off towards the end of the year.
It's definitely a work in progress, really. Most of our line's going to be really young. We're going to be a bunch of pretty much sophomores and juniors. So it's just pretty much getting their confidence up, and then everything will just kind of mesh together after that.
Spencer, you know, the Lions are one of the teams that every other team in the Bayside North Division actually circles on their calendar, so they mean business. But like this QB said, this is a young team, and they have to find their comfort level. In their scrimmage on Friday, the Lions had some mistakes on both sides of the ball. The program itself has not won a regional championship in a couple years, and for this team to get back to the top of the football chain, they need to feel comfortable, especially since they have some new faces. The Lions have the athletic ability, but we know football is not just about athletic ability. Spencer, it's all about the mental game as well.
I think you're right, too. I mean, you look at, they did have a couple mistakes early on, but I actually really liked what I saw from this team. And the fact is, you're going to have that early on in your first few scrimmages. Those are why those are there, to work through that, get yourself better. And what I really was impressed with was Bradley, how calm and composed he was throughout that interview and throughout the game. And if you can get that from your senior leadership, especially when it's at quarterback, you know you're going to have a pretty good chance at winning a lot of ball games, especially in the high school game. So I think they actually have a pretty good thing here moving forward.
I know, he's been there with 4 years with the team. All right, it was scrimmage Saturday in Delaware. Sussex Central Knights played host to the Woodbridge Raiders and the Stephen Decatur Seahawks. The Knights were doing this all day, controlling the game at the line of scrimmage. That's the quarterback running down and really having their way with the other teams. And the Seahawks had questions on who would be their #1 running back, but they got a few contributions from a few guys, and look at that guy just go. And now the Woodbridge showed their ability to make the big play, especially this guy. I mean, look, I think it was the quarterback scrimmages, especially for the Raiders.
This group has actually worked super hard in camp. We've tightened the bolts down a little bit in camp from last year and previous years, and pushed the kids pretty hard this year. I got to tell you, they responded. We have good numbers out, and the kids, we're working them hard, and you can see it in their play.
You know, these are always good when you have those 3-team scrimmages or 4 teams, the opportunity to really gauge each other against, you know, some good competition. And the thing that really stood out for me was why. I mean, we went to their first couple practices, and there was a lot of questions as to what running back was going to take over for them moving forward. And the thing is, it looks like they have multiple guys that can do it. I mean, they had a couple guys out there that were really running the ball pretty hard. And the fact is, I mean, Stephen Decatur, that is, they had guys that they were handing the ball off to, running hard downhill. And they also had a guy that was about 250 pounds, and he was laying guys out. I mean, he was picking up yards. You want to talk about falling forward to get the first down. He was definitely getting that done out there from Giselle. And I feel like moving forward, they got a good thing going there. It's always nice when you got a couple guys you can hand the ball to.
And I think with any team, you know, and whether it was the Seahawks, the Raiders, or the Knights, the best part about scrimmages is to be able to finally play against someone else. And I know this scrimmage helped each team get a good measure on how their offense and defense will really perform. And no matter who's on the field, it's all about who's going to be step up under pressure and make the big plays, whether it's a scrimmage or the first game of the season. And as Coach Knox said, the cream usually comes to the top.
He has a way with sayings. I really like talking to that, Coach. And Seaford, they hosted a 4-team scrimmage yesterday, which included Parkside, James Bennett, and Colonel Richardson. Now a strong play for both teams in this thing. And speaking of strong plays, check out this run here by TJ Hayward. I mean, just knocking guys out of his way, barreling downhill. Colonel Richardson was moving the ball as well in this thing. Their quarterback sneaks here in the middle up the crease and making a lot of guys miss. He's going to be a guy to watch this year. Parkside, on the other hand, they were getting it done through the air, airing this one out way downhill. Devin Redding slings that beautiful catch there for completion. Seaford, they got it done on defense, and I think that's going to be one area where they're improved a lot this year. Made a couple interceptions, and it was good to see out of them.
Well, we were ready. We were hyped for it, and we all came in with the right intensity, so we knew this was the first chance we got to actually put full pads on and play against somebody else, so we were ready for it.
I think it went very well for us. Still things to improve on, but coming out today and seeing what we had, and we did a great job out here. Everybody executed well.
You know, Spencer, actually being out there on Saturday, it felt like each team was actually playing for a championship. One team that stood out from the rest of them were the Rams, and I mean, their running game was on point. Finding the holes, evading defenders, they could do no wrong in my eyes. On the other hand, one of the teams that made some mistakes on both sides of the ball were the Blue Jays. I spoke to Coach Darling, and he said his team is too selfish right now and is trying to get them to be a more cohesive unit, and, you know, the scrimmage is actually going to help them get to that better direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always tough, too. That's his first year at the program. So moving forward, you kind of need to get that senior leadership and kind of establish yourself. So I'm sure he'll be fine down the stretch, but early on, that's always tough to go. But a thing that really impressed me was Parkside. I mean, they had some guys down the field that were definitely making some plays at the ball. That passing game looks legit. And they have a couple guys, too, that I feel like you're going to watch out for this year. And at the high school level, I was a little concerned that they wouldn't be able to have the playmakers and the time to get it out there. But they found them in space. And if they can do that throughout the year, I mean, this is going to team you're definitely going to watch moving forward, Giselle, as they are a quality program. Well, how do you feel about it? We want to know. So reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter. Send us a message there or email us at 47abc.com, or you can mail us at sports@wndt.com. That is, let us know what games you want us to go to, and also check out our polls online.
And don't you just love football? So much of it. And we are not done yet. Right after the break, the Del Mar Wildcats taking on the Tribe Y-High. Keep it locked right here.
How you doing? I'm Matt Griffith from Easton High School, head varsity football coach. You're watching the Delmarva Sports Insider.